Good morning and welcome back to the Frogget Yarns Knitting and Making Podcast. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband, we are the owners and dyers and all of the things of Frogget Yarns, hand-dyed yarns. Also, we have a mobile yarn truck. So thanks to Mr. Frogget, that mobile yarn truck takes us to all the shows to come and see you. So welcome back to another week. I'm happy that you are joining me again. This is the second time I have recorded this. Didn't go so well the first time. So we're back at it again. We're calmer. It's going to be fine. Let's just address the elephant in the room with my only finished object I can show you. I have another one. I just can't show you, but I finished my DRK everyday sweater. I'll stand up, give you a little, it's not blocked. I just finished it last night, and actually when I recorded this yesterday, this was not done. I still had probably this much of the last sleeve to do, but I got it finished, and thankfully now it can be blocked and I can wear it. But it is done, so I feel good about that. So we're going to pause for a second while I take it off because it will not last long. Okay, that's better. I've just come up from the studio, so I'm already a little overheated and drinking hot tea. So yeah, the sweater wasn't going to last long, but I did want to show you, and I did want to have it on. I love the way it fits, and like I said, it's not blocked, so it's probably going to loosen up just a little bit. It is non-superwash. I used, I didn't bring the tags in. I used Yarn Hero Merge Sport, and it's a non-superwash, and the colorway was Racetrack. But I did show that in the last podcast. So other than that, the only other thing I finished was my February Granny Square, which I can't show you because it's not time to release the February Lily Pad Club color yet, but it is done, and I can show you that next week. So whips, my January, my little self-imposed sock club, my January socks is ready for heels. That's all I'm going to do on the leg. So they are ready for their heels. I'll pop those in today. And that is the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in the color Holly Berry. So I'm happy with those. Pop those heels in today, and they'll be good to go. The other active whip that I'm going to really try to concentrate on is my blanket from last year's club. So last year we did all the colors inspired by our trip around Scotland, and I kept a sock set every month, and I held it double for DK. So January's mini, February's mini, and so on. So I've got all of them on here. It's pretty wide. It's a perfect like lap blanket. It's wide. It's bigger than I thought it would be. So I'm the whole way to November. So this was October's mini. Here's November. So I really want to get this done. Every time I pull it out, Cooper wants to be under it. He's a blanket baby, and he loves to be under this. So once he gets under it and he gets all squished around, it's hard to work on it. So I'm going to try and work on it with leaving it in the basket. So it's in a nice big basket, which is perfect, but I want to get it done so I can store my granny squares for this year's blanket in the basket. So that'll be where I concentrate some of my efforts now that the sweater's done, because that's easy TV knitting, easy reading knitting, and I don't have to think about it. I just can't have it on my lap because then both the dogs want to be under it. So that's where we're at for like active whips. I've got the socks. I want to finish that blanket, and I'll be starting the next Granny Square, which obviously I can't show you. So that brings us to a couple of new cast-ons that I'm gonna have hitting the needles. So the first one is the Traveler Cow by Andrea Mowry, and I'm making this as another sample of our Rambouillet DK. We'll use that for the screenshot. We had a sample of the Traveler Cowl in the truck. It was done on our Polworth Silk Sport. Well, obviously we're discontinuing that base, so I just want to have another one. It's a nice, smaller project. It doesn't cost as much to make. It's a good option if you want to try the base, but you don't want a sweater's worth. Plus, Mr. Froggett wants one for his own. He wore my Traveler Cowl at Rhinebeck this past year and loved it. So he has chosen Cranberry Bog as his colorway, and I'll be casting that on for him to wear it shows and to have as a sample. The other thing that I'm going to get cast on now that I've got that sweater off the needles is my No Frills cardigan by Petite Knit. So I talked about this, I think, my first or second episode. I'm holding our new Yak Fluff base with our discontinued Shetland fingering, but you could hold it with any fingering or make it in DK weight. So there's my two together. It has that nice fuzzy halo. So I'm going to get that cast on because that'll be a nice travel project. I'm trying to think ahead to what is easy to travel with because we're coming up on show season. And so we'll be on the road a lot, traveling to the festivals. And I like to take things that I don't have to follow a chart for or concentrate too much while I'm in the truck or at a show or at the hotel at the end of the day after you've worked all day. You really don't want something you have to think about. So those are two new cast-ons that are coming. I'll be casting those on. So that's it for most of the knitting. I'm happy that I finished my sweater. I'm going to get that blocked today and cast on some new things. So that's exciting. Let's move on to shop news. In the shop right now is our Valentine's Day set. So Love Struck. The whole set comes with the full 100-gram skein and 3 minis. You can just get the 100-gram skein on multiple bases. So if you're not interested in the minis or you already have, a stash of minis that you want to use, you can just get the full-size skein. If you want the whole set, you can get the whole set on our Merino fingering or Merino DK because those are the only minis that I have. That is in the shop, ready to ship. Yak Fluff and the new Yak fingering also in the shop, ready to ship. There's still time to order February's Club Color, The Hurricane Wars. This is the book that we're inspired by. This is the book that we're going to be reading in February. And we still have 3 charms. There are only 3 of these left. And these, don't forget, are an optional add-on. So if you just order the yarn, you're not going to get the book. You have to go back in to the same listing and add the book charm to your cart. It is not included. Just want to reiterate that because there was some confusion last month. I had some people reach out and say, I got my club, but I didn't get a charm. And when I looked up their order, they didn't order the charm. The charm is extra. So just be aware of that. There's 3 left of the charms, but the pre-orders for the yarn stays open until January 31st at like 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, something like that. My system won't let me do midnight, I guess, because technically then that's February 1st. So end of the day, January 31st, February's color will be closed off. And then after that, your only option is one of the 4 shops that we send it to. So that's it for shop news, other than today in the cabinet, and I will put some video in right here. So today in the cabinet, we are dyeing our last our last new base for now. I'll just say that. And it is our new merino fingering with no nylon. So 100% superwash merino, 437 yards in 100 grams, no nylon. And that is what is in the cabinet today. We're going to start. So this base, when you see it in the trailer and on the website, we're going to start with the entire collection from last year's club. So all of the Scotland colors, both the main skeins and the minis, those will be our first 24 colors on the new base. So we're going to put all of those on the new base to start out and see how we go. There were so many requests to bring a lot of these colors back. So many people got in on the club late. And we keep it exclusive for the year that we are running it. And then after that, if we love the colors, we'll put some into the shop. But that whole collection was one of my favorite collections. So they're all coming to the shop, and that is what we're putting on the new fingering base. So that's what's dyeing today. Today I did all 12 of the tonals, and then next week I will dye all of the multicolors and yeah, get them loaded into the trailer. January is almost over, folks. I'm not sure where the time went. Our first show, our first event, while we're in shop news, is Nash Yarn Fest coming up March 14th and 15th in Nashville, Tennessee. This is hosted by the ladies at Modern Daily Knitting, and we're very excited because we will be inside the building. So that's very exciting. We've never had the trailer inside for a show. We're always outside. So we're excited to be in the building. Also, if you want to see everywhere that we're going to be for 2025, the events page on our website is updated. I've got all of the shows that we are going to be at with the dates and where they're at, and the name of the show. So if you need to look up ticket information, you can do all of that. Check out the events page on the website. It's a tab, and you'll see our whole schedule, and you can make your plans to come out and see us. So that's shop news. Who's excited to read this book? Because this leads us in to book chat. And this will probably be my next physical read. I need some time to recover from the book I just finished. But I did finish. I know last week I said I was reading this book, Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. Big chunker. I was reading that on my Kindle. And I was putting off finishing it because I knew that it ended on such a major cliffhanger. I didn't know what that cliffhanger was, but I knew that it was pretty massive. And so, yeah, I was waiting for Onyx Storm to come out, and I was like, I need something to read, so I might as well finish this. And I did. And they weren't kidding. It was quite an ending. I think we're getting book 4 this year. which I'm excited for. If you have not read this series, this is the Kindred's Curse saga. This is very, very good. There are 3 books right now. They're not all this thick, I promise. There are 3 books out now. I'm pretty sure the 4th is coming this year. It is very, very good. But the book that has been consuming me since Tuesday is Onyx Storm. It's done. I finished it. I finished it last night. Yeah, I have feelings, folks. This is my favorite of the series so far. So this is called the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. So Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, if you've read them, you know them. This is book 3. It's slated to be a 5-book series. So this is the middle book. All I'm going to say is, and this is spoiler free, if this is what she writes when she demands the time that she needs to write a book and writes the book she wants to write, let's give her all the time she needs. This book was, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, this book was fabulous. I laughed out loud so many times. I bawled multiple times. I squealed in delight for all the little bits of romance and just little gestures. It's my favorite read. I mean, I know it's only the end of January, but I've read 5 books in January, and this is by far my favorite. This is my favorite of the whole series so far. This is leaps and bounds better than the first 2, and I loved the first 2. I don't do Goodreads or any of the other reading apps, but literally 1,000,000 stars. I know you can only give 5, so 5 stars for sure, but in my head, 1,000,000 stars. If you like this series, I feel you're going to love this. I do have a good friend who's reading it, and she's not impressed. She did read the first 2. She didn't like Iron Flame. I liked Iron Flame slightly more than Fourth Wing. I loved Fourth Wing, but this is heads and shoulders above both of them. I found this to be just beautifully written. You could tell that she was having a fun time writing this book. It comes out in the characters. There's so much character growth and just development and maturity. Yeah, I could gush forever, and I won't. But that was my latest. I finished it last night. Yeah, I'm still reading my audiobook, which is Gold, which is book 5 of the Plated Prisoner series. Loving that. I have read all of the books on my January TBR. I track everything in my reading journal, and I read all the books that I had wanted to read for January, plus I think 2 extra. If you are interested, if you're reading along with us for book club, we do have a Discord channel. I will leave the link to that below, where we're talking about the books that we're picking for club. There's also a little poll going, kind of, sort of, where someone had suggested naming the book club. So I did a little sleuthing about some cute little frog-themed book club names, and the 2 that are getting the most votes so far are the Tadpole Bookworms and the Pondside Book Club. So if you're on the Discord or you want to join us, go over there, leave me a comment, let me know which of those you'd like to be called, and we'll name the group just for something extra, something a little fun. So that's the Discord. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take a few days to digest Onyx Storm. There's a few chapters that I think I might go back and just reread. I devoured this book. And I I read based on the pace of the book. So if there's part of the book that is super, super fast paced, I'm just buzzing through it because I need to know how it ends, if there's a battle or something, major going on. And so I definitely need to reread it slower, and I will, but I need some time to process what I read and how it ended. It was an amazing ending considering we still have 2 books, but I have feelings. I have very strong feelings. Anyway, that's all I've got for you content wise. So tell me before we close this out, are you working on any year-long projects? Are you joining us for club and therefore making something every month with the yarn for this year? Yeah, let me know, because everyone's doing something different. I've got a few people who are working on a year-long blanket. I've got a few people who are going to use each month to make a hat so that they have a build-up for gifts and donations. And I've got someone who's buying a sock set every month, and she's going to make a pair of socks with every month. So let me know. What are you planning to do if you're joining us? Or if you're in another club, what are you making with that? What have you read lately that you're loving as much as I loved Onyx Storm? What's your favorite read so far for 2025? Everyone's always looking for book recommendations, so pop that down below. I'm always happy to share book recs and what I'm reading. I'm a very passionate reader. So let's chat about it in the comments. And that's all from me this week. I think the second time through went better. I hope it comes off better. I hope that you're having a great weekend. You will see this Saturday. Today is Friday. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. But you will see this tomorrow or whenever you get to it. So I hope that you have an amazing weekend, and I hope that you have a great week until I see you next week. And yeah, with all that being said, I will see you back here next week. Same time, same place. And until I do, happy making and have a great week. Bye.